Lucifer. Let's say you're the vice president of a company with impressive leadership skills and corporate powers, but you were so impressed with your own abilities that you desired to be like the CEO, even if it meant outshining the boss. Naturally, this success might boost your ego, making you think, whatever the boss can do, I can do better. That's exactly what happened to Lucifer. Once the fairest, wisest, and most powerful among angels, Lucifer's pride got into his head, recruiting some angels to his side and launching a rebellion against heaven. The ultimate celestial rebellion, however, ended in failure. Remember, this was the Old Testament God, not known for his leniency. So instead of getting a stern scolding, Lucifer and his crew got booted out of heaven, no severance package included. After getting cast out of heaven and falling from grace, Lucifer made a home in the fiery underworld, quickly climbing the infernal corporate ladder to become one of its 7 princes. But of course, this overachieving former angel wasn't satisfied with that. He crowned himself emperor, embodying the sin of pride. Lucifer traded his angelic wings for horns and a pitchfork, becoming the embodiment of evil. Despite the drastic makeover, he kept his cunning, charisma, and intelligence, but in a literal devilish way. He became the symbol of deception and lies, often tempting people away from being do-gooders to the evil path, like Darth Vader, luring his son to the dark side. Smooth talking and offering worldly pleasures are his specialties. Mammon. You can look at hell as a realm where, instead of Scrooge McDuck diving into his vault of coins, we have Mammon, the demon of greed, perched on a throne surrounded by mountains of gold. This fiery tycoon isn't just sitting on wealth, but also embodies greed or avarice. Think of him as the patron demon of those who live to load up their bank accounts, often at the expense of everyone else. Forget setting up charities because Mammon hoards his riches, epitomizing the corrupting power of wealth. In Judaism and Christianity, Mammon is depicted as the ultimate shady businessman, always looking for a get-rich-quick scheme. Picture a demonic negotiator who'd rather tempt humans into becoming morally bankrupt. When you're striking a deal with the devil for that winning lottery ticket, Mammon seals the pact with a sinister grin. However, he's said to be a fallen angel, more enchanted by heaven's golden streets than by serving God. After his fall from grace, became hell's infernal interior decorator with a penchant for bling, crafting large statues and buildings to feed his materialism. In Christianity, Mammon embodies the tug-of-war between spiritual devotion and material obsession. The age-old saying, "You can't serve 2 masters," rings true here. Mammon represents the tough choice between living a humble life of faith and swimming in cash like a Fortune 500 CEO. Asmodus. Representing the sin responsible for dramatic TV shows and erotic movies, Asmodus is hell's prince of lust. He's a demon who would spend more time working on his pickup lines to get laid than ruling over his domain. That's why he's the ultimate bad boy, capable of charming women to his side while convincing men to follow his perverted ways. According to Christian stories, Asmodus was once an angel of God, but instead of guiding mere mortals, he was more interested in literally watching over them, like a drooling peeping Tom obsessed with sex. Not wanting anything or anyone ruining heaven's chastity, God cast him out of heaven, telling him to take his lustful ways down to hell. So if hell had nightclubs, you'd know that Asmodus built them. In most cases, he's portrayed with a sophisticated exterior, capable of attracting a Victoria's Secret model. He's also intelligent, cunning, and smooth with his words. But while he may look like that guy in the bar you'd want to make a big mistake with, he can be as dangerous as any other demon. And we are not talking about his kinky desires in bed. His true image is of a 3-headed demon with the heads of a man, a ram, and a bull, riding a dragon and wielding a lance. So while it's easy to fall for his princely charm, he's a true demon underneath his lustful exterior. Interestingly, Asmodus is not the type who would bring forth hellfire and brimstone to cause destruction. Instead, he's a top player in the sinister deal with the devil game, offering knowledge and power in exchange for tribute. But he'd probably spend more time trying to get into your pants instead of corrupting your soul. Leviathan. Being a prince of hell isn't all about sitting on golden thrones and corrupting humans. Sometimes it's all about being the biggest and baddest dude in this infernal realm, and that's where Leviathan comes in as the agent of chaos and destruction. Leviathan is portrayed as a massive sea-dwelling creature that would make the Kraken look like a goldfish. He's a cross between a sea serpent, dragon, and crocodile, making him the stuff of nightmares for all of hell's sailors. This demonic creature may seem like your usual eat, sleep, destroy kind of creature, but it's one of the highest-ranking members of hell's weird leadership hierarchy, representing the sin of envy. Originally, Leviathan was a mindless beast of carnage in the Hebrew Bible, but as stories of demons evolved, so did this demon prince. He's given a more prominent role in the Christian Bible as one of hell's aces in the hole, capable of commanding hordes of demons while mowing through an entire battlefield with his immense size. While you'd think he's just a brawny beast that thrashes in the fiery waters of hell, Leviathan can also be cunning. His specialty is stirring up jealousy among humans, whispering toxic ideas that would make you envious of the people around you. So whenever you're jealous of your neighbor's full-size pool in the middle of a hot summer, that's Leviathan telling you to be that toxic green-eyed guy next door. But at the end of the day, Leviathan is hell's muscle, a guardian watching over its gates. With his towering size, monstrous power, and a face only a demon mother could love, he keeps everyone in check, ensuring the damned stay put. Beelzebub. If hell were a corporate setup, Lucifer would be overseeing its operations at the top as the CEO. But even the all-powerful ruler of hell needs someone standing on his right to serve as his deputy. That's where Beelzebub comes in as the powerful, intelligent, and disgusting second-in-command, the vice president of all things wicked. Representing the sin of gluttony, Beelzebub is as hideous as they come. He may be Lucifer's most trusted lieutenant, but that isn't an excuse for his massive weight gain and lack of personal hygiene. This demon makes Patrick Star look like a supermodel. If you could see this demon, you'd be more concerned about getting germs all over you instead of fearing this prince of hell. For a good reason, this demon is called the Lord of the Flies, or Lord of the Dung, as he's a grotesque creature surrounded by flies. In some portrayals, he's a gigantic insect that's always hungry, and everything is on the menu for this gluttonous beast, whether it's sinful souls or a whole buffet table. He has a reputation for tempting and corrupting humans, transforming them into creatures of gluttony themselves. That voice telling you that you can take on 10 rounds in the buffet isn't your stomach, but Beelzebub, who doesn't know how to put his fork down. He tries to rub off his excessive and harmful desire for food onto you, wanting to turn everyone into fat and lazy slobs. However, Beelzebub isn't the overweight deputy CEO demanding his secretary to order an extra serving of fries and his cheeseburger in some literary forms. Instead, he's a master strategist who contributed to the Grand Rebellion against God, blending intelligence and malevolence into one package. He was an angel, a seraph, who fell from grace and lost his celestial figure after feasting in hell's all-you-can-eat table. Satan. If you're talking about demonic VIPs, Satan takes the cake as the OG devil himself. He embodies the fiery pits of hell themselves and is often mistaken for his counterpart, Lucifer. But while different religious texts portray Satan and Lucifer as two sides of the same demonic coin, some qualities make Satan unique on his own. Satan represents the sin of wrath, making him the embodiment of temper tantrums in the middle of Manhattan traffic. When you rage quit a video game and start cussing, that's Satan telling you to get all that angst out. He's the reason why a lot of people need anger management sessions with their therapists. Of course, there's a good reason why he's got so much pent-up anger that even the Incredible Hulk would look like a puppy next to him. Portrayed as the ultimate adversary of God since the dawn of time, Satan is synonymous with the devil. He's a rival to heaven and humanity, embodying his rejection of divine authority to rule over his territory in hell. Think of him as someone who likes to question every rule and challenges others to do the same, like he's recruiting an angry mob ready to carry pitchforks and torches to heaven's pearly gates. He isn't about blind chaos and destruction, but rejecting the norms. He's the ultimate symbol of temptation, telling you to do all sorts of crazy stuff for forbidden knowledge or power, like that friend your mom calls a bad influence. Despite his extremely bad reputation, Satan is often called a necessary presence in the universe, because good can't exist without a bit of evil spice. And because he represents evil down to its roots, he's undoubtedly God's ultimate counterpart in the grand conversation of light versus darkness. Belphegor. Most demon princes try to look as intimidating as possible, but Belphegor comes with that posh look that screams his hellish celebrity status. He's the type of demon who would prefer strutting his expensive robes and jeweled crown. There's an element of glitz and glamour to this prince of hell, but there's also a deeper and more sinister side to him. Belphegor is often associated with sloth and laziness, which explains why he would rather sit on his throne all day instead of reviewing his to-do list. So when you spend your whole week binging through your favorite shows and scrolling through TikTok, you're invoking Belphegor as your patron demon. After all, if there's a shortcut or excuse to call in sick for work or abandon that gym membership, this demon will surely find it for you and whisper it in your ear. Even though he may be the embodiment of a lazy Sunday afternoon, he's also associated with wealth and innovation in some literature. That's a weird mix with laziness, but there's a twist. It's said that Belphegor inspired people to invent things that lead to easy richness and laziness, like that hoverboard, which made walking uncool and made its inventors rich. It's like he's a devilish salesman trying to sell a get-rich-quick scheme that even Ponzi would fall for. Essentially, he represents the allure of shortcuts and quick fixes, making you want to find the most efficient yet laziest solutions to your problems. So if you want to ChatGPT your way through your next homework, that's the devil working magic through you. Lilith. In a twist that could rival a soap opera plot, Lilith, Adam's original wife before Eve stole the show, wasn't a simple fling. She was the OG feminist who wasn't about to play second fiddle to anyone, not even Adam. She wasn't asking that much. All she wanted was a 50-50 share in the chores at home. When God gave her the ultimatum to be Adam's obedient housewife or pack her bags and hit the road, Lilith slammed the door on paradise while yelling equal rights along the way. But here's where things took a dark turn. After leaving Adam, Lilith was demonized, painted as an evil queen out for revenge against any man looking to put women down. She became the mother of demons and was a worshipped figure in a demon cult that survived until the 7th century. Sometimes she's portrayed as hell's one and only queen among a fiery sea of demonic kings and princes. Witches during the medieval period supposedly got their powers from her. Back in the day, if a woman even showed talent at anything besides sweeping the floor and scrubbing pots, she was labeled a witch because being an independent woman meant being evil. If Lilith's story had been told today, she wouldn't have become a demon. Imagine marches with banners reading equal rights or infernal rights. But for now, she's stuck with the reputation of stirring up trouble from hell, scaring women into thinking twice about questioning the patriarchy. If you want to embrace your inner Lilith and talk about gender discussions spicier than forbidden fruit, you can join our Discord. Astaroth. If you find yourself scrolling through demonology class schedules and pondering life in a hellish academy, look no further than Astaroth. This sinister creature may come to battle riding a dragon, but he's more of a scholar than a fighter. He's specializing in the liberal arts and is armed with a PhD in demonic sciences. He's like that professor who wears intimidating glasses and always knows how to make your soul cringe. But he wasn't always a terrifying mentor from hell. Astaroth was once a seraph, a high-ranking angel who joined Lucifer's rebellion, convinced that God was keeping all the knowledge of the universe to himself. But he got cast down, becoming the Dean of the University of Hell. Also known as a Grand Duke of Hell, Astaroth isn't just a pretty face on an overgrown lizard, he's the brains behind the infernal operation. He's got that sophisticated charm that says, I know things you shouldn't know, and he's not afraid to trade knowledge for something you'll regret, like your weekend plans, or maybe your eternal soul. He's high up in the demonic hierarchy, commanding a legion of minions and rubbing shoulders with the big shots like the 7 princes. But his real power lies in his occult knowledge. Need wisdom? Astaroth's your go-to guy. Just be prepared for the fine print, because dealing with him is like signing up for a class that sounds cool until you realize it's a gateway to some seriously dark stuff. And like any good demon, Astaroth thrives on temptation. Forget about gold and fame, because he's about tempting you with the forbidden fruit of knowledge. Because who needs $1 million when you could have the secrets of the universe, which you can get for the price of eternal damnation in hell? Paimon. If hell had a social hierarchy, you'd find this demon at the top. because he's considered a kingly figure in a realm full of princes. Not to be confused with Pokemon, Paimon is known as a king of lesser demons and is one of the most loyal followers of the bigger names in this infernal corporate setup. They used to be buddies up in heaven, where Paimon served as the leader of an order of angels, but after their failed rebellion, his loyalty to Lucifer got him his position as a powerful ruler in hell. He has an appearance fit for a king and boasts a regal and commanding presence. Paimon often enters on a camel and is surrounded by many musicians playing loud and enchanting music to announce his arrival. It's a Disneyland parade, but with a dark twist. But he's not just all about grand entrances, because this demon is known for his vast knowledge and wisdom among the different lords of hell. Paimon is known as a great teacher, capable of imparting knowledge about arts, sciences, and the universe to mischievous people. While he may not be as powerful as the princes of hell, this demon has a special place in occult lore. Witches and sorcerers used complex rituals to summon Paimon. They used elaborate ceremonies to conjure up this demon, because anything less than a grand spectacle would insult this king of hell. If you call on him directly, he will be a chill demon with whom you'd have no problems sharing a drink at the bar. In return for proper respect and offerings, he's willing to share some of his knowledge, making him a figure who walks the fine line between a feared demon and a generous teacher. Mephistopheles. Let's say that you're in a dark cult that wants to summon the biggest and baddest demon willing enough to trade dark secrets for your soul. The problem is that pronouncing this demon lord's name can be a bit too hard. You'd have to have a PhD in ancient languages to summon a demon as powerful as this guy. But if you manage to call him, you must come in with a business suit, because you're in for a hard day of bargaining for the best deal. Mephistopheles may not be a well-known king or prince of demons, but he's one of the top names in the art of trading power in exchange for human souls. He's like the Michael Jordan of infernal bargains, the greatest of all time at charming and outwitting any human into giving into eternal suffering in hell in exchange for a mansion. That's why he's the grand negotiator of desires and ambition, making you want to worship him your entire life to boost your career. He's known for his fine print, and not even the best lawyers in town can find a way out of contracts with this demonic mediator. Once you're in, you're in. No refunds, no returns, eternal suffering guaranteed, even if you read the terms and conditions word for word. As tough of a negotiator as this demon may be, he's also known for his dark sense of humor. He loves cracking a joke or two in the middle of a high-stakes negotiation, leaving you torn between laughing nervously and running for the nearest church. He's basically the witty and hilarious salesman who charms and jokes his way into convincing you to buy that afterlife insurance you never knew you needed.